Okay, y'all, so we're going to read some Mao. This is a report to the Second National Congress of Workers and Peasants Representatives, brought on January 23rd of 1934. So, the Communist Party of China started in 1920. This is their second one. It's kind of their second Congress of this. So this is the National Congress of Workers and Peasants Representatives. I would like to figure out more of what happened in between, their founding to now, 1934. Like how many of these, was this a yearly Congress? Report to the, and like what exactly this was. This was maybe some sort of, bigger structure that was, reformed in, I don't know. So I'll get to that, but for now we're going to read the second part of this because we read the first already. But this is the anti-imperialist movement. So yeah, we'll just get into this. Let's see. The anti-imperialist movement. The greatest events in the past 2 years in China, since the inauguration of the Provisional Soviet central government, were imperialist attacks and the fourth and fifth offenses waged upon revolution by counter-revolution. The occupation of Manchuria, Mongolia, and North China by Japanese robbers, and the intensified control of Tibet, Xikang, Yunnan, the Yangtze Valley by British, French, and American imperialists are all directed by the imperialists to wreck the Chinese Soviet power and to completely enslave the Chinese nation as a preliminary step towards the war against the USSR. The Kuomintang of landlords and bourgeoisie still sticks to its long-followed policy of capitulation, while, on the contrary, the anti-imperialist movement of the countrywide revolutionary masses, with the unprecedented national crisis before them, has developed with extreme violence. At the present movement, two powers of opposite directions are laid before the countrywide revolutionary masses. The Kuomintang, which surrenders completely to imperialism with all means, suppresses the anti-imperialistic masses. The Soviet, which is determinably anti-imperialistic and does its best to support and lead the anti-imperialist movement. The past 2 years, the Provisional Soviet Central Government has repeatedly circulated statements denouncing the predatory wars waged by the Japanese imperialists and the traitorous capitulation of Kuomintang. On April 14, 1932, the Provisional Central Government formally declared war on Japan and issued mobilization orders for war against her. The Provisional Central Government and the Revolutionary Military Council have more than once announced their readiness to conclude agreement with any armed unit of the Kuomintang for joint anti-Japanese and anti-imperialist military movement under the following conditions. Let's see. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to take a pause real quick. This is interesting because this is when they decided they're going to go to war with the Japanese, and they're going to join together with the Kuomintang to get the Japanese out of China. Kind of interesting. They kind of been at war with the Kuomintang. It's to struggle against the Kuomintang. They're trying to get the Japanese out, basically. So for joint anti-Japanese and anti-imperialist military movement under the following conditions. 1. Immediate stop of offensive against the Soviet districts. 2. Guarantee of civil rights for the masses. 3. Arming of the masses and creation of anti-Japanese volunteers. And 3. Those the 3. The Tung Agreement concluded between the Kuomintang and Japan on May 30 of 1933, and Sino-Japanese direct negotiations since then are policies and actions against the national interest, but repeatedly repudiated by the Provisional Central Government in its statements made public of late. The Soviet has supported the anti-Japanese struggle in any and every part of the country. To speak alone of the anti-Japanese strike of the textile workers in West Shanghai in 1932, the Soviet aided them with $16,000. In the Soviet territories, imperialist privileges have been abolished and imperialist influence wiped out. Imperialist pastors and fathers were ousted by the masses. Estates of the people seized by imperialist missionaries were returned. Missionary schools were turned into Soviet schools. In short, the Soviet districts in China alone are liberated from the imperialist yoke. These facts point to one thing. The Soviet is the sole anti-imperialist government. The Soviet government wants to make known the countrywide masses. The greatest responsibility of the Soviet and the whole masses is to win victory over imperialists by means of direct war. The fulfillment of this work depends on the development of the mass anti-imperialist struggle. First of all, the lackey of imperialism, the Kuomintang, should be smashed because it is the greatest obstacle on the way before the anti-imperialist Soviet and masses. Okay, so this obviously is very this is when joining the Kuomintang seemed to be just brought up because they're still kind of like, oh, the Kuomintang is the one that's in the way. Like they're they said these were the conditions: immediate stop of offensive against the Soviet districts, which is the Red Army. 2, guarantee of civil rights for the masses. 3, arming the masses and creation of anti-Japanese volunteers. So they're just like, do your part. We'll join with y'all against the Japanese if y'all do your part. But until then, it seemed that things were not they had not joined forces just yet. So this is report to the Second National Congress of Workers and Peasants Representatives in June 23rd, 1934. This is the selected works of Mao Zedong. And y'all want to follow me online, Marxist Saw, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Medium. Yeah, y'all hit me up. Have a good day. Lodada Goi.